Hello everyone, thanks for taking the time to watch this 360 virtual tour. I hope that you find it informative and interactive, because with this type of video, you're seeing everything around you now. You're not focused in on one particular spot. You have control of the video, not the camera guy. To get the best experience with it, I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to use it so that when you're in the video and you get disoriented or lost, you know what to do to get back on track and enjoy the video. The first thing that you're going to want to know about is that watching this on a mobile device, you can use your phone, twist it, pivot it, move it all around, even turn around left and right if you want to, because you can see everything now with this 360 virtual tour. If you're on a computer, all you have to do is get the mouse, put it on the screen, click and hold while dragging on the screen, and you'll be able to drag around to see everywhere around you. If you ever do get lost in the video and not sure what to look at or what to focus on, if you look straight down, there'll be a compass on the ground, and if you look for north, it'll show you where the area of interest is. Once again, I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this virtual tour, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Many people ask what a forest school is. The forest school pedagogy is a unique educational approach that is centered around the individual learner, setting it apart from other outdoor learning. Through the development of reflective processes in each learner and independent learning, the learning becomes personalized and real. The schools of personal reflection and review are an important part of established forest school programs. This will help think of the most appropriate strategy to deal with different or difficult aspects of life necessary to move on and to plan and to learn the lessons life has to give us as individuals, and not simply taking the directions of others. Our mission is to provide authentic learning opportunities to engage in nature in a meaningful, lasting, and holistic manner. We strive to instill a positive regard for nature and responsible stewardship. We foster a sense of community and a shared learning experience, and our forest school program builds resilient, confident, and independent learners. The educational focus of our school is to foster and promote a safe and positive outdoor learning environment that enhances student learning through a project-based curriculum utilizing eStream, which is environmental education, science, technology, reading, engineering, art, and math. To support the whole learner in a forest school setting, eStream also supports environmental awareness, social skills, teamwork, responsibility, emotional health, and mindfulness. One Forest School offers innovative programs as diverse as the people we serve. We immerse students in the forest and the natural world, creating a sensory-rich and developmentally appropriate learning environment for all ages. We foster curiosity, community, and imagination to inspire stewardship and empower lifelong learners. Our staff members are passionate about their work, about educating the broader community about our school's philosophy and goals.
All right, hello, my name is Heidi Sutherland, and I am the president of the Board of Trustees for One Forest School. I also work very closely with our education, our curriculum, and I want to talk about our curriculum. So here at One Forest School, we have an eStream curriculum, and what we've done is we've taken the traditional STEM and added some letters. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And what we've done is added an E for environmental learning, and we've added an R for reading, and we've added an A for art. So we put that all together and we incorporate eStream into everything we do. And we also have our curriculum is based on, it's a project-based curriculum. And what that means is every month, children who are enrolled here create a project based on the monthly theme, okay? And our monthly themes are based in early American history. And with a focus on Virginia. So I have these points up here: eStream curriculum, project-based, with early American history, and a major focus on Virginia. So I'm going to go through the months and what we cover in the months, and then I'm going to focus on a particular month, colonization, and I'm going to simulate and show you a typical lesson that we would be working with. So we start the year in September with Native Americans, okay, the Indians who were here before Europeans came over. So a typical project for that month would be creating a shelter. And for Virginians, that would be different. The Virginia Indians would be different than the Plains Indians or the Indians that were out in California, because we teach students that Indians, the natives, used their environment, and whatever they had, the trees, whether they were based near the sea or near a river, they used whatever they had in their environment to build their shelters and eat their food and so on and so forth. So again, a project for that month could be building a shelter that the Virginia Indians would have used. October is, we move on to the explorers and exploration, the age of exploration, and the discovery of America. So we cover that, and with a major focus again on Virginia. So we're going to focus on Jamestown and John Smith, which I have John Smith's map up here. He was a cartographer along with being in the Jamestown settlement. So we cover the explorers in that month. That's October. So then November, we cover colonization in the 13 colonies with a focus on Virginia and beyond Jamestown, because Jamestown spread to Williamsburg, and then other parts of Virginia were colonized as well. So major focus on what was life like in the colonies. And then in the next month, December would be Revolution, the American Revolution, and becoming free of Great Britain. And we would have a project that would be based on something involving the American Revolution. And then we become free of Great Britain, become our own country, United States of America. So our focus in January is the new America and the Constitution, and looking at the writing of that. Then we move into February, and we are all about the presidents, since that is the month that we celebrate President's Day, and it's also African American History Month. We do both in that month, and with a major focus on Virginia. Most of the presidents were born in Virginia. Virginia is known as the mother of presidents, so that's a highlight for that month. Then we move into March, and we have Women's History Month with a focus on the important female women Virginians and their contributions. And then we move on to the next month, which is Civil War, kind of winding down the year. Virginia was most of the Civil War battles were fought in Virginia, so there's lots that you can do with that. And we then finally end the year with May, which is called America the Beautiful. And we focus a lot on, since it's the month of Memorial Day, we focus a lot on the veterans and those who gave the ultimate price, and coming local again, because this is project-based, and we bring it back to Virginia. We focus on the Bedford Boys in May. So that's basically our themes covering the whole school year. Now I'm going to have the class work on, I'm going to show an example of what we would focus on. So yeah, let's go ahead and close our books, and I'm going to show a typical lesson that we would have here at Forest School. So as you can see, we don't have desks, so the kids are on yoga mats, and they were doing some independent reading, and now we're going to do a lesson. So what we're going to do, guys, is learn a little bit about colonial America and what they would have used in their classrooms, okay, something called a book plate. So kind of like what we have. How many of you guys use bookmarks? When you're reading, do you have your own bookmark? Have you ever made a bookmark? Okay, I mean, sometimes you can just take a folded piece of paper. A lot of times my bookmarks are just a picture. I have a lot of pictures of my son I use as a bookmark. Anyway, we're going to make something called a book plate. So I'm going to read you a little bit about what a book plate was to them, and this is something they would have had in Virginia. Okay, so books were important to people at this time in colonial times, but they also were very scarce. They didn't have a lot of books. Okay, unlike us, we have a lot of books now. Okay, why do you think they didn't have a lot of books 300 years ago? Why do you think they didn't have them? What do you think?
They weren't invented yet.
They weren't invented yet. They actually were invented, but think. Okay, there weren't a lot of authors. That's a good answer. I like that. They had invented, so it was kind of, think about what goes into making a book. What goes into making a book? Think about it. Paper. What else? From trees. Good. What else? What goes into making a book? Ink. Good. What else? What if you were to mass produce one book? You know what mass production means? Anybody know what that means? Mass production? What were you going to say, Lindsay? You made your own book? Okay, mass production means making a lot of something over and over and over again. So what do you think they did 300 years ago to make, like if they were to make this book and they were to make it over and over again, like a ton of copies, how would they have to do that?
Everybody would have the same book.
Do you think they had copy machines back then? No, they didn't have any machines. So most books were handwritten, okay? Or the printing press was invented, and the printing press was the first way to mass produce things, but really there just wasn't a whole lot of them. So because they didn't have a lot of books during colonial times, okay, if they were to loan a book to somebody, they would make something called a book plate, which again is kind of like a bookmark, okay? That's how we're going to compare. So let me just explain what it says here. It says books were important and scarce. That means there weren't a whole lot of them. Children were given horn books because they were thought to be too careless to handle real books. So a horn book is something that they had in the classroom. I don't have an example of it, but we're going to be making book plates. So people lent and borrowed books from each other because there were practically no libraries. They also really didn't have libraries yet. People affixed a book plate inside their books to show ownership or to remind the lenders to return their books. Okay, and a lot of times on their book plates they would have messages. Okay, and let me read you some examples of messages that they would have. Okay, on their book plate they would have a message that says, "Steal not this book, my honest friend, for fear the gallows will be your end." All right, so first thing you're gonna fold it in half. Okay, long ways. So see how I just folded it in half long ways? So take it and just fold it in half. Hot dog style, good, yes. Hot dog style, yep, that style. Yep, long ways. Well done. Okay, fold it in half. Good. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfectly even. Then you're gonna fold it in half long ways. Good. Fold it in half again, good. So this long ways. Okay, good. And then we're gonna fold it one more time. So it's going to end up looking like this, okay? So this is going to be your book plate, okay? So when you're all done, when you open it up, notice it has 8 windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So within these windows, you can draw individual things, you can write words, you can write your name, but you're going to show ownership of your book. And you can make little messages. You can write on the back as well. You can decorate it. I'm going to come around with colors. Okay? So this is, again, our book plates. Okay? So book plates were used by the Virginians. Remember, we bring it back. All of our lessons come back to a focus on Virginia. Okay? Colonists who were a bit richer than others. They had their own libraries and book collections, and many of the book plates included different words that came from specific books. Okay, so we're going to come around with colors, and you can add color to your book plates. While you guys are working on your book plates, I'm going to show an example of teaching with a reading style. So I want to also give you an example of how we teach reading here at One Forest School. We utilize Orton Gillingham, which is a multi-sensory technique and works with all types of learners. And I'm going to show you how a typical lesson would look like. So I have Miss Aaliyah here that's going to go through her letter sounds. Orton Gillingham utilizes index cards and letters, and we focus on letter sounds, phonemes. So Aaliyah is going to show a typical lesson would start with going through her set. These would be her set of cards based on what she knows. And she's going to go through the cards. Every time you start a lesson, you go through and she gives the letter sounds. Okay, Miss Aaliyah, go ahead and do that. Good. So today we're going to do a review of the short A sound. So Miss Aaliyah is going to come up here, and the way we introduce all our letters is with cursive, okay? And you want to utilize this as a memory socket, or when you learn how to write. If you're you learn how to write, you learn how to throw a ball. This is a way that you remember stuff. So in Orton Gillingham, we use cursive because you want your writing implement or your finger or whatever you're writing with to be connected to your body, if you will, and it's going to be all about remembering. Okay, so with a short A sound, we utilize cursive, and we take the pen, and I teach the kids that they connect and they go through it and they say ah, okay, because that is the sound of A. Okay, so, and I said it wrong, didn't I? It's supposed to be ah. I said ah. It's supposed to be ah, so I was wrong. It's ah, like apple. So you're going to take it and you're going to trace ah. I was saying it wrong. Good correction. Good. Okay. So very good. So to continue with this, we could have. There's lots of different things you can do with Orton Gillingham. That's what's so cool about the program is you can take, since she's learning the short letter sound, A, she could take her letters. You could do it this way. You can do it lots of different ways, but she could put these down and then make words with the sound A in the middle. So she's going to show that. So remember, your A has to be in the middle, and then you can choose whatever letters you want on either side. There we go. And then you're just going to show how you would pronounce each sound and then put it together. Good. Perfect. All right, well done, Aaliyah.
Right, here at One Forest School, we have our eStream curriculum, and we follow all of the standards. But to do the standards, we have experiential learning. And so we are learning through hands-on activity, hands-on fun and play. So over here we are in our science class, and we're learning about the living things that we have in nature, the living things that we have found in the creek. Over here, we are learning about the life cycle and the life stages. We're examining and watching our tadpoles grow and change into frogs. We'll go over here to another science where we're not learning about the living things, we're learning about the rocks and what minerals we have.
Look, see how you smashed it? Look. Oh,
we're learning about the minerals that we have here.
look at that.
And we can, how do we use those? How does nature change over time? It's all learned through hands-on activity and play. Over here in our sandbox, we're learning about measuring. We're scooping in. We're learning shapes.
It didn't come out.
And we're building and playing all as we learn about our measurements and building. Over here at our mud pit, we are also learning about our math. We're doing measurements and building, but we're doing our weights, seeing how much something weighs. How much does a mud ball weigh? How much does that weigh? Can you measure it?
Can you show us how much it weighs?
Ooh, did it go down? We're learning about balance measurement. Which side is heavier?
Go this way. Mine's bad.
So everything we do here at One Forest School is through experience and through play. They learn and they remember and they're all having fun. So we meet all standards, Virginia standards of learning, but it's through a creative, experiential way.